I was testing to see how much room I have left on my phone. The thing is with good and evil, the thing that I can't pin down is like tortured people are more prone to being tortured. So it's like I was like, is evil really winning out here? Because like people have torturous lives and then they turn evil, and that doesn't seem right. I don't know. It was a random thought that's been kicking around my brain. But they sure do flex that sort of apartheid in Israel to get their false flag war to set up all nice, and they go in guns blazing in Iraq. Say, oh look, they're shooting back. I told you they're terrorists. They're shooting back. Hey. But no cleaning up their own house. There's no. Oh, we're not gonna do all this evil stuff anymore. We're not gonna make sure we stop exploiting third world labor and blaming migrants for our problems and doing their genocidal stuff in there. Hey, well, we love the justice for other people, and therefore the appearance of justice, because you sit inside the pyramid scheme and you're like, oh, this is so pleasant. I live in the pyramid scheme. I'm so glad they aim their guns somewhere else. It's whenever I see like refugee stories and stuff, it's just like always the clever thought that comes to my mind is like it's you'd rather be in the turret than where the turret's aiming. It's not a true refugee from like third world problem. It's like, oh shit, they might shoot over here soon. You take a look at like the African tribes, the untouched ones, and sure there's some weird ones, but like there's also the kind smiling ones, 80 years old, and look like probably never had to struggle, just beaming ear to ear, keeping life simple. I used to beam ear to ear. And now the Nazis have cooked out my brain. Oh. What should gonna do? Shit's too crazy for me to get a handle on. I read the Bible and it says, such men are natural beasts. And I say, oh, I got an arm here. Well, I got an arm here. Like, that can't be. But again, to be fair, that was Paul saying that. That wasn't Jesus saying that. Well, then Jesus comes along in the book of Revelation. He's a whole different guy. And I'm like, what the heck? Is what you're talking about? I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe I got it all wrong. Maybe it's just factions fighting space wars, and we're stuck here. I got the Indian songs that says the FBI can tell that I led in Sitchin Day and Decision Day, and I'm like, I have no recollection. Like, that could just be cleverly timed words, or it could be true. I don't know. Nobody tell me nothing. My trouble with the Bible is it's like, hey, wake up. There's about to be a snake, and I'm like, wait a minute. This could be some shenanigans. I don't know. Well, maybe it's just my bad karma for being King David, St. Francis, Simon Peter. Oh yeah, that's what it is. I don't know. I can't make sense of it. I ask God every now and then, like, God help me, God help me, God help me. God help me, God help me. I don't know what else to do with it. Like, it's too insane. The government tortures me every day because they're Nazis. It's like, okay. I mean, if I was true to myself, like, to be fair, to be true to yourself after they cooked out your brain is very hard. But if I was true to myself, I always thought, way back when I was an atheist, I always thought by natural psychological means and such. I used to think, like, you know, oh, if somebody had been Hitler's friend, he would have been a nice guy. If Hitler had had, like, a nice surfing girlfriend or something, and he'd be like, oh, and she'd be like, no, let's go to the beach instead. I got a surfboard. And he'd be like, oh, okay. Eh. And then they could have had a nicer day. That's the way I used to think. I can't, just because I can't think anymore. I hate that I can't think like that anymore because I can't think anymore because I cooked my brain out. It's apparently what I said 3,000 years ago. I said, hey, dude. I said, behold, I was raised in iniquity. But, I was like, hey, dude. Walk into paradise here. It's cannibals and shit. None of this makes any sense to me. But anyway. I don't know. All the violent stuff, all the evil stuff is stuff that evil gets you to do. And it takes a hold of your life. So be a good person, be kind to people. It was beautiful when I was kind to everybody I met and concerned myself with the best possible thing I could think of them. Or it was a beautiful life. Well, now it's a very bad life. It's very bad. I don't like it. It's tiring. It's vexing. Well, I got video games to play, but video games are hard to play with the mind-flaying bioterrorists come to torture me. I don't know how to fight the demons. I can't help you. You guys are like, hey, demon stuff. This is wonderful. But again, I don't think the demonic stuff presents itself as demonic to them. I think this is how it works. Triangle finger. And then they miss the lines of history. Like my dad was always very big on history and always very big on, bored me to death in Civil War museums as a kid, but what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but they are the club now. The club that fakes news to tell their new recruits, oh, we engineer social justice for black people. That's why we just faked the police execution right in time for a presidential election of a black man live on camera. See, we bring social justice, but they're the same people as I got kicked off of the Freemason Reddit for making one post there. I only ever made one post there, and I was like, you guys were the guys that ran slavery in America, and you cooked it into the Constitution and stuff. And then, but then you're supposed to have the eternal truth of enlightenment of Triangle Finger or Lucifer or whatever. So how could you change so heavily? So it was, at one point they were like, yeah, slavery. And then once it became socially abnormal, once like everybody learned better, they're like, yeah, we know better than that. So crazy. The same thing with women's suffrage, women's right to vote. For a solid, I don't know how many thousand years in the West, women should have no rights. Women, and then all of a sudden, it's socially acceptable, a big push. And then the same people that were like running and saying no, they should never, or all of a sudden, oh yes, oh women, no. Also women, you should attack men. Like they always add their extra. Plus women, you should be attacking men for this. When it's probably the same brain snake things. Like, hey, yeah, don't you hate them? Shouldn't you hate them? You want to hate them? That's as far as I can get a handle on it. It's really hard to try and figure out the sum total of existence on Earth. I mean, only on Earth. Maybe somewhere in Zeta Reticula or something. The brain goos are happily eaten. They've enslaved the whole planet, and the brain goos are like, and people are like, yes, the brain goo is very wise. So I don't know. I got no handle on it. Maybe that's why Jesus built the Sky Fortress. Maybe Jesus needs the Sky Fortress to go live happily in peace because these brain goops took over the whole universe or something. I don't know. Maybe that's that. It's my thing is the problem. My trouble with the Book of Revelation is manifold. I like the Sunday school version where like, and then everyone lives happily ever after. But the third of the stars in heaven were thrown. I was like, wait, he doesn't know astronomy? Like that, he couldn't fit a billionth of a star on planet Earth. Doesn't make it. Again, maybe it's a placeholder, or maybe someone snuck in and stuck it in the Bible, or it doesn't belong there. who knows? Maybe it was a strong delusion. Maybe Yahweh is the good Santa Claus-like figure that everybody remembers in their deep psyche. And he's just like, you better not make me come back there. And then somebody's clowning on it. Maybe it's that. It could be a million things. These are my thoughts as I pray. Every day, every night for the last 17 years. It's been going very bad for me. Very bad. What are you gonna do? I complain too much. But again, false flag wars and Nazi bioterrorism, rigged elections, and death threats in elections. The same thing, spiritual, like haunting. So like the same thing they did to, I only know this from experience. They've done it to me. So like the same way a month before Hillary Clinton lost in 2016, and they probably told her it was her turn next. But it would have looked really bad. It would have said Bush, Clinton, without Obama stuck in the middle there. So they probably had to tell her, no, your turn is next. And then they told her, you don't get a turn. And she probably protested. And then they did bomb in Chelsea. And Chelsea's mom figured that out right quick. The same way right before the Epstein files came out. They did massacre in Bondi. And Pam Bondi's in charge of the Epstein files. Like that's the mafia way and the spiritual haunting way that your government works. I don't know, Freemasons or whatever, whoever's behind it, I don't know. I don't want to get too, I feel disgusted with myself to say it, so I don't want to say it. It's too self-defending for me to say. But anyway, let's just leave it at, well then that would be stolen valor, I suppose. But valor means nothing in the whole Jesus sense of religion, and I would imagine the Yahweh stuff, it's just valor's not quite learned good enough yet, so acceptable foolery, I suppose, maybe. I suppose, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense to me. Taking wild guesses at things that are way above my pay grade. Maybe it's just Zeus. Zeus is mad that nobody's burned a calf. And made lions eat people. He's just up there pissed off, like, you guys stop burning calves. I'm gonna let bioterrorists take control. I have no idea. Could be anything. Like, once you're forced to speculate, could be a million billion things. Well, I'll assume God is good because I remember being a good, happy person and having a good, happy life. For like 30-something years. Before the Nazis came for me. There was some bad times in high school and some bad times in elementary school, but mostly I got over it and had better days. Now it's brain cooking and the FDA makes sure you poison babies, and the FCC makes sure that only corrupt people get to control everything. I don't know what the FCC does. Probably FCC just honest, nerdy guys. The FBI makes sure they protect criminal enterprises so that they can do their false flags, because that's world engineering. It's not right. Nobody's engineering the world on top of your faces while you guys are doing ultimate evil stuff. It seems wrong to me. It all seems broken. This seems turn around, go the other way stuff. That way. It's just like maybe God can't heal us while we're all punching each other, and that's hard to do it. I don't know. Makes no sense to me. Oh, this is what I think about all day long. I bet the Nazis are like, oh, this sucks, man. You're recording this guy's thoughts every second of the day. You feed it back to him when you're sure it's something that'll torment him. Be like, oh, we just saw through your brain. We just know. Well, again, I feel like the Yahweh song is so hard to understand. The songs that say Yahweh, and again, I don't know. I don't know the source. They could be saying any words on top of that, and every words that I understand. So, oh, okay, well, I understand that word. I can't make sense of it. But I think it said something about, like, they see because of Ra. I could be wrong, but it's how they know your brain from raw information. But I could be wrong on that. Again, it could be the same thing that's attacked me, that's put those songs there, and some through time attack, and just too much for me to handle. I just think if the Nazis weren't in power and doing all their Nazi stuff, and then I think like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have been fighting against these CIA types, because maybe they're the only ones who'd be able to put it back if there's some deep fallout. They'd come to their senses and be like, holy shit, this stuff's all brain snakery. And they have all their knowledge from tracking people's brains, and they decide to do the right thing and try and fix it, I suppose. These are the weird ways that I think. I don't know. I don't know if God's reincarnating us and there's a gap, and God had a big plan to skip that gap. But yes, David, one day you and Goliath will prove to everybody that actually real God is thinking about something else here. But it's not their brotherhood stuff. None shall oppose the brotherhood. Like, hey, brotherhood needs opposing. That brotherhood is sick in their brain. You guys need some friends. You guys need golden retrievers and border collies in your lives, I think. Somebody show you a little bit more better about what life is about, rather than trying to fuck people over and hold over their heads how much you can fuck them over. And it just doesn't seem like a viable system of governance, or it seems to have no goodness or merit to it. That's just me thinking. I come to this through examining it through 17 years of mind control torture. I said to myself when they first attacked me, it was a year later or so, and I said, this was God, but it was so godlike, because it was like music and media and mind control and government people, and it was so omnipotently attackful. And I was like, God can't leave me with nothing. And I found the song that says, oh, keep hoping, St. Francis, you'll be a free man yet. And I said, oh, good. This is surely for me. I'm that kind of asshole. I'm just like that. But nothing came of it. For 7 years, I kept praying and praying. I said, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And nothing came of it. So I said, I gotta look at this some other way. I started praying Yahweh, and I waited 10 years. Another 7 years. And then the Jewish songs were like in English for a few words, and it's like, oh, am I going crazy here? And then the Jewish songs were like, Mashiach's seat gets hot, and I was like, whoa, no, this is someone fucking with me. Like, that's Antichrist stuff. Like, I don't want that. No, thank you, sir. And I was like, oh my God, maybe the Native Americans have something. And so I went to the Native American songs and listened to their songs. And they'd been calling me Anakin Skywalker. They did it like in a bunch of ways. They did it sidelong with touching my life, 3 degrees of separation. My friend, he put up Anakin Skywalker, the actor, while he was getting his job. He was living with my friend's house, like my friend that I grew up with. And I was like, is this why this is happening? And then the spiritual haunting was like, it's over, Anakin. I have the high ground. I was like, that can't be God stuff. God's not like that. God's good. Well, they were calling me Anakin Skywalker. And then the Indian song came along, and the Indian songs were like, hear Yahweh, Annie. And I was like, oh shit, this is way beyond my pay grade. So I can't put a handle on any of it. Hey. But anyway, so that would make me deeply anti-Christian, and that would suck, because I kind of like the Christian stuff a lot, aside from the torturing people and the I like to do unto others things and the golden rule stuff. But anyway, so those songs say like false that you'll enter, and I was like, oh, okay, but so I shouldn't, like maybe lots of other people will enter, so I shouldn't, talk against that, because I could fall gleaming like that. I could fall and say, yeah, well, alright, well, you guys go. It's apparently close to me. So I don't know. None of it makes any sense to me. All incentives of where am I coming from? It's like, there's gotta be someone better than this watching this. Gotta be someone up there who'd help me. I ain't that bad, am I? Oh, but I don't know. It makes no sense to me. This is what I think about all day long in the mind control torture chamber. I don't know who plays with reality behind the scenes. I don't know. I'm all out of religious trust. I just pray every day because I got nothing else to do. There's no atheists in Freemason Nazi bioterrorist mind control torture chambers. I mean, I gather myself up and I'm like, I'll just go to oblivion then. It would be the honorable thing. There's one thing to be humble, but there's another thing to like be enslaved while being tortured, and it's like I don't know about that. I don't know about earning billionaires extra money. I don't know about paying taxes to Nazi bioterrorists. Like I can't quite square myself up with that. I don't know about the one for you and the 5 million for me. I feel like that is iniquitous, and I just can't. I can't put my hands to it. Plus, I'm too tired and too fucked up. So anyway, all that goes on. This is just me minging. Just me complaining. Otherwise, that's where I don't trust the Indian songs. Cause it's like, what does it say? Bitch on a die? Not like that, but like, oh, you bitch and die. Like, you know, you're putting it too lightly, but like they hollowed out my brain, so I'm just like, wouldn't God know that they were gonna lobotomize my brain so I couldn't properly like, I don't know. I don't know. Makes no sense to me. But anyway, all that goes on. This is my trouble. Is when I have problems with God, I pray. These guys have problems with God, and so they say, therefore, we're allowed to kill people and torture people and destroy life and destroy happiness and destroy fun and destroy kindness and destroy compassion and make life suck for everybody. And so it's surely a very broken thing to do. I don't know. Anyway, all that goes on. No idea. Makes no sense to me. I was just starting to. I was just wanted to see if I had cleaned up enough space on my phone to record stuff because my last video cut off after 5 minutes. So. I don't know. Maybe God just loves his mysteries. It's the only way to lead assholes like myself, and could be something like that. I don't know. It makes no sense to me.